Hello, YouTube divers. This is WaterDive122, and I want to welcome you all to another episode of Magic Metal Mondays. Today, we're going to be doing another album review. This is going to be the first of a couple albums from the same band that I will be doing here on this channel. It's not going to be Halloween. It's not going to be Yes, but you'll definitely hear more album reviews from them down the road. We're going to talk about a new band for this episode. We're going to be talking about Savatage. So, yeah, recently I've been really digging Savatage a lot, and I heavily believe that they are one of the most underrated metal bands of all time. They they have this extremely unique style of metal that they play. Like, I don't know any other metal bands that have done what Savatage has done. Um, Savatage is basically like a progressive technical thrash metal type of band. I mean, their songs are proggy, like they make you think, especially songs off of the album I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Savatage album of all time, and if you remember from my Savatage rankings that I did a couple months ago, then you'll know what my favorite Savatage album is. It is the 1987 album Hall of the Mountain King. Now, before we get into the review, let me just go over a little bit of stuff about this album. So, Hall of the Mountain King is, in my opinion, the best album that Savatage ever released as of right now. Um, and it's a fan favorite, and I know a lot of the Savatage community absolutely adores this record. Like, if you watch any other Savatage rankings on YouTube, most of the time you're going to see this album at the top of the list. And I think it's heavily deserved. Hall of the Mountain King is an amazing record. And we're gonna find out why here in this video. So, I decided to do Hall of the Mountain King because, I'm starting to, quote-unquote, revisit Savatage's discography. The first time I listened to them, I listened to all their albums in chronological order. This time, I'm re-listening to the albums that, I feel like I want to re-listen to. As of right now, I've re-listened to 3 of their albums. I've re-listened to Hall of the Mountain King, Gutter Ballet, and Handful of Rain. You're gonna see all those album reviews here very, very soon. But we're gonna start off with Hall and Mountain King today, simply because it is my favorite Savatage record. We're gonna get to that in the review. So, well, let's get started. The opening track is 24 Hours Ago, and I love that song. It is an amazing opener. It's one of the best progressive metal openers I've ever heard. And, John Oliva really shows off his range on that song. He sings high, like he sings like in the high octave range. He's almost going into that soprano territory. But he has a very unique style. He has a really great technique. And, he kind of uses like he kind of does a crossover of Andy Darris from Halloween. And maybe a little bit of Dio in there ish. Like he's got the grit on his voice, but he can also sing in high range like Andy Darris from Halloween can. But on 24 Hours Ago, he just absolutely shows off his range there. And, and if you don't believe me, go check out my 24 Hours Ago music video that I did a couple of weeks ago, and you'll understand. Really great, but getting back to the song, this 24 Hours Ago has has great riffs, great drum parts, and of course, who could forget the bass solo by Johnny Lee Middleton near the very end of the song? It's killer. The second track is Beyond the Doors of the Dark, which is one of the heavier tracks on this record. And, the chorus of that song is just brilliant. It's probably my favorite part of the song. It's just so heavy hitting the way John Oliva sings that. And of course, with his brother Chris on the guitar, Chris's guitar riffs absolutely complements John's vocals in more than one way possible. I mean, it's just so amazing. And that riff, the main riff on Beyond the Doors of the Dark, is a riff that I will come back to time and time again, and it is the main reason why I love that song. Now we're moving on to the next song, Legions. Legions is a really, really great track. Again, great vocal performances from John Oliva, and of course, the killer riff in the chorus from Chris Oliva's guitar work. Sadly, Chris Oliva, as many of you know, Chris Oliva passed away in a car wreck in 1993, shortly after Savatage released their Edge of Thorns record. Whenever I listen to this album, I always get reminded of Chris Oliva, because Chris Oliva is a freaking amazing guitar player. I would definitely say that he is up there with some of the greatest metal guitarists ever, like Vivian Campbell, or maybe even Randy Rhoads, Kirk Hammett, Marty Friedman. The list just goes on. He's an amazing guitarist. Rest in peace, Chris. And Legions is a big reason why. The riff is killer. Like, that riff. Don't. Ba-da-do, down, bow, ba-da, ba-da-do. Yeah, that riff is killer. I love that riff. And one thing I forgot to mention about Chris Oliva, he has a lot of solos on this album, and all of his solos on this album are great. All of them. Especially here on Legions and in the next song I'm going to be talking about. Track number 4 is Strange Wings. And this is one of the few Savatage songs that actually features a guest vocalist. On this song, they featured Ray Gillen from Badlands. And no, he is not related to Ian Gillan, just to let you know. But Ray Gillen and John Oliva basically sing the chorus to Strange Wings together, and they just do it in perfect harmony. I mean, Strange Wings is probably my favorite song off this record, or maybe it's second, but it's one of my top 3 favorite songs on this record. I absolutely love Strange Wings. And then after that, we get the 3-minute instrumental that is Prelude to Madness, and it's a great instrumental. What more can I say? With those thunder sound effects, it perfectly feeds in to the next song off of this record, and that is the title track, Hall of Mountain King. Yeah. When I first heard this song, I thought, okay, that's a great song. And now, it's one of my favorite progressive metal songs of all time. I love that song. And it's really fun to play on guitar, too. It's a freaking blast. And if you want to talk great guitar solos, this is the song for you. Chris Oliva does an absolutely amazing job soloing on this song, Hall of Mountain King. Love it. And then the next song, we got The Price You Pay. The Price You Pay is, like with Beyond, it's kind of like Legions in a way. It has that same atmosphere as Legions does, but in my opinion, The Price You Pay is a little bit more heavier than Legions. And I do like these heavy prog metal type of songs. And it's Price You Pay is just a great track. What more can I say? And then speaking of great riffs, the next track on here, White Witch. Yeah, that song is just freaking killer. Especially the chorus with the quote unquote backup vocalists. I don't know if they're necessarily backup vocalists or not, but that guitar riff near the chorus, like on that White Witch, it's just it's such a good song. So, and then after that we got the instrumental Last Dawn. Yeah, Last Dawn, excuse me. I just had to make sure, because there's 10 songs on this record, by the way. And track number 9 is another instrumental, The Last Dawn. Basically, instrumentals were a Savatage thing. Like, a lot of their records had multiple instrumentals on here, which kind of served as interludes. And that's just one thing that stands out Savatage above the rest. Because I don't know any other metal bands who would have like interluding instrumentals in their albums, like multiple interluding instrumentals on their albums. But this album, but Call the Mountain King has two, of course, Prelude to Madness and Last Dawn, and then the final track on, and after Last Dawn is the final track on this record, Devastation, and the main riff to Devastation kind of reminds me of the riff from of Rage and War from Gutter Ballet, which came after this record. Um, so for that reason, Devastation is another one of my favorite songs on the album, but I feel like it's like almost an identical twin to Of Rage and War, which, as I've already mentioned, was released on Gutter Ballet. And, but still, it's a great song nonetheless. The riff is killer, the vocals are amazing, the drums are amazing, everything on that song, and on this album for that matter, is amazing. And that's why I'm rating Hall of the Mountain King a freaking solid 10 out of flippin' 10. This album is a masterpiece, and I highly encourage any metal fans out there who has not even heard of Savatage to please go check this album out. This album is freaking amazing. Hall of the Mountain King by Savatage, easily my favorite Savatage record, and it's getting a 10 out of 10, a perfect score from good old Water Dive 122. So yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching from my fellow YouTube divers. This is Water Dive 122 signing out, ready to dive into more fun on YouTube. Thanks for watching.